program is an exciting opportunity for museums and galleries around the state to take a close look at their practices and policies and assess them against the national minimum standards for public museums. It's like a health check of the organisation. The program establishes long-term networks for museums and galleries in the region and is a great way of acknowledging all the hard work undertaken by volunteers and paid staff to maintain Australian heritage. Every year, a group of museums and galleries are invited to sign up for the challenge of self and peer review. So far, we have worked with over 88 museums in 9 regions of New South Wales. Last year, the Standards Program took place in the South East region and involved a range of really diverse museums.
The Corrective Services New South Wales History Statement, or our museum, is situated in Cooma, and we take a lot of pride in delivering important information to the community.
Our museum is situated on the shores of Twofold Bay. It's a museum that was dedicated to the shore-based whaling that happened from Twofold Bay. But here in 2011 we're celebrating our 80th year.
The museum's made up of the old courthouse, which was in the Batemans Bay. On the side of it we have the Nelligan School, which is attached to it, and on the other side is the police residence. And so we've made up virtually 3 buildings in one.
We've got a collection that's pretty large. We haven't quite catalogued it all, but it's between 5,000 and 20,000, and that would include the photographs.
The Thredbo Museum, based in the village square in Thredbo. The Historical Society started in '95, and we've got a very good collection. But we've got some very significant exhibits there. The one that comes to mind is the Kiandra story, where skiing started 150 years ago in Australia, and potentially the first ski carnival held in the world.
The Standards Program is a great opportunity for all museums to rethink the future of their organisation, but there can be specific goals that your museum might have in mind.
We thought that we could probably gain a bit from seeing how everyone else is going, but also to concentrate on our manpower, really.
It was like having a big mirror put in front of us. We had to really look at how we did business. There were a lot of chips and holes in it. We really couldn't see them.
Using all the volunteers now to the skills that they possess, you don't really know when they walk in the door.
We're at a point where we've done a lot of development, and we thought it'd be really good to get outside view of where we were, and also we knew that you were working your way around New South Wales, and it was our chance to do it.
No matter what the goals, the Standards Program can be a great way of strengthening relationships between local council and museums, and there are clear benefits for both parties.
The museums really appreciated the support not only of South East Arts but their councils, and just to bring that connection together, councils and historical societies and museums.
Yeah, we're really lucky in Queanbeyan because the Queanbeyan City Council has a memorandum of understanding with the Historical Society, and they provide us with a small budget every year, and it works really well because a small amount of extra money with a small group of dedicated volunteers, you really can do a lot. What's really good about it is they actually help us with strategic planning and helping us with development applications and all those kind of things, where it's really good to have a professional person on the team.
The major benefit has been the fact that we have the people from museums and galleries and their facilitators coming to the museum with a fresh perspective, and sitting down and spending time with the museum volunteers and with myself, and just talking about what's working well, the things that we can improve, and highlighting some of the aspects of the museum that we could develop into the future.
An important part of the program is when twice a year museums open their doors to reviewers who give practical advice, share resources and work with the organisation to develop plans for the future.
We go out and have a field visit, and that is just to get an idea of what the museum's doing, how they're doing it, meeting all the staff and acquainting yourself. And from there we sort of think about things and directions they might go. So when we go back for an on-site visit, which is a whole day visit, and that day we do a lot of planning with them, where they might go in the future, making them think of the big picture of the museum rather than the everyday tasks that they have to do.
It's a very much one of just getting to know how they work. It's certainly not telling them what to do. It's to try and sort of engage ideas and to try and sort of work out also how they work with the community, work with their local volunteer agencies or the visitor centre, their local council.
Well, the field visits were exceptionally good because it actually puts a different flavour on things. It gives you a nice fresh perspective of how people are doing more or less the same business but their way.
It's always good to get professional views on our museum and also sort of impartial views. A lot of the things that people like that see are things that you don't see yourself while you're there every day, all day.
It was of great help to us because that's what we're hoping to get, some actual practical experience from people like that who got the knowledge and had gone through what we've gone through.
I've probably had about 40 inmates directly involved in the Standards Program. A lot of them have moved on. I haven't managed to convince one to stay in jail.
At the end of a hard-working year, the Standards participants come together to discuss what they've discovered, their future plans and whether it was all worth it.
Some of the organisations were a little bit wary at first. There was that sense of that they'd be judged and that comment about it was a standards program and would we be up to standard. So it was great to hear that people found a lot of value in doing the self-reflection and really stepping back and looking at what they do.
Particularly if they're a volunteer, not-for-profit group like we are, and there's many of those around New South Wales, I'd certainly strongly recommend the program to them for their consideration. It might look a bit daunting to begin with, but once you get halfway through it, you realise you've made the right decision.
It's a way of bringing people together because museums get so bogged down in what they're trying to do and think, and we're all guilty of this. They think very, often think internally and think, well, wait there. The Standards Program is looking laterally, looking externally, and it's a way of bringing all sorts of organisations and individuals who can assist that museum in their plans and their objectives.
It really is an opportunity to advance your museum, to stand back and look at your museum, look at what you're doing, how you're doing it, and getting that expertise of people that have been there and done it already to come in and help you do that.
It gives you an outside view of where you're at, and it actually helps you do that planning that I think is going to help you improve your museum.
I think that's the biggest source of information we had was what you gain from meeting all the other museums.
It's a learning curve. You'll get things right and I'll say this, it's only 12 months, but that's a short time and it's a very powerful thing to be standing at the end of it and say, look, we did it and we did it all together.